Hello, this is Casey Fatchett, and welcome to the Nerdy Photographer Podcast. On this episode, we'll be talking with Sofia Negron about the healthy photographer. More on that after this short break.
Yeah, so I'm not sure how we handle the situation.
Did you have a contract?
Well, I had one I found for free online, but my lawyer says it might not hold up.
Next time, you should head over to nerdyphotographer.com. They've got a selection of contract templates for weddings, events, portrait sessions, and even for hiring second photographers and associate photographers, which would certainly have helped you in your current situation.
Really? I will check that out. Nerdyphotographer.com?
Yep, nerdyphotographer.com. They've got all sorts of contracts and agreements that can help make sure to protect you and your clients. So what are you going to do?
Well, we just have to wait and see what happens, I guess.
So, no pants on?
Who know anything below the waist? Totally Porky Pig in it.
Impressive.
Not really. It was pretty cold out.
Ew.
Yep.
Hello, and welcome to the Nerdy Photographer Podcast. I'm Casey Fatchett, and I am joined today by my friend Sofia Negron, who's in charge of the healthy photographer. Welcome, Sofia.
Thank you for having me, Casey.
We had discussed recording an episode a while ago, and I could say that the world has substantially changed since then, and now that most photographers are stuck at home in isolation, what would you suggest that photographers be doing to keep themselves healthy while in isolation?
Ooh, keep moving. That's the biggest thing, is moving. And right now, there are so many people that are posting things online, whether it's yoga, it's Pilates, it's weights, it's jump rope, it's running up and down stairs, dance parties. I think for me, dance parties are the most fun. And, you can do it in your house, and there's also virtual dance parties. And you can also, call up a bunch of friends on Zoom and have a virtual dance party with your friends. So
Or you can jump on.
Thing is,
you can jump on Instagram with D Nice.
Yeah.
And get in those giant Instagram live dance parties.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that actually. Instagram is now letting you watch videos and look at posts with your friends online.
Yeah.
So
yes. Yeah, and Netflix is also allowing that, but that's not very active.
No. And I have been watching lots of Netflix, so I'm also guilty of that. But I think the biggest thing is to keep moving, and then remember that, it feels good to eat junk food. But try to eat as healthy as you can, because with the inactivity, you will end up, probably adding a little fluff. And you also want to take care of your immune system. The healthier you eat, the stronger you have, your body will be to fight off any issues that you may have, including, what we're dealing with right now.
Yeah. I think that it's hard. Like you said, I am definitely an emotional eater. And I've been working very, very hard to control that and just keep myself busy. Every morning when I get up, my dog is driving me nuts because she's like, I don't get to go to the dog park and just run and be crazy. So now you have to run and wear me out. So we're going on several walks a day, and I'm doing sprints now, which I haven't done in years, just to try to wear her out. But also just working out at home, simple things, like you said, yoga. I'm doing, just okay, I'm going to do a wall sit for, a minute, or I'm just doing, push-ups or just squats. You don't need weights or things like that. You just have to keep your body active.
Yeah. And if you don't have weights, pick up throw your 70 to 200 on your camera body and lift that.
Yeah, find your heaviest gear and,
Right,
you know.
lift it.
Now,
Pick up your strobes, your battery packs, and use those.
yeah, carry them around the house. Like you know what? Get a bag for all of your lighting stands. Put all your lighting stands in one bag and just like carry those around the house. Like, you know, be like the Spartan run, you know, but with lighting equipment. Now, speaking of that, I mean, do you think that there's a misconception that photography is not an active job?
Yeah, I think people think that photography is just this cool, easy, fun job. I mean, maybe being a fashion photographer where you're stuck in the studio all day and you're not really moving, that maybe is not as active as someone that is, you know, an event photographer, a wedding photographer. Those, I would say, are the most active because we're carrying gear all day for 8, 10, 12 hours, and gear is not light.
No, it's not. I used to have everything in a really big shoulder bag, and I carried all of my stuff in this shoulder bag all over when I was shooting weddings. And my second shooter, who I've been working together for like 10 years, is like, I still remember when you, like, back when we first started working together, you know, you were carrying all of your gear in that bag on your shoulder all day, and I was just like, he's like a bear. There's something wrong with him, or he's like superhumanly strong. And I was like, yeah, that only lasted for a few years, and then I was like, this is stupid. I'm going to get a rolling bag, and like, you know, you're moving around a lot, you're carrying a lot of stuff, and you know, you can hurt yourself. I mean, what sort of injuries do photographers commonly sustain that people don't think about? You know.
Oh, I mean, I definitely think that there's shoulder injuries. And neck injuries, especially if you are carrying your camera around your neck. Like, you know, if you just take the standard strap and put it behind your neck, that adds a lot of pressure. And then, you know, even if you have one shoulder strap on, your body starts to compensate for that. So then you're getting out of alignment. Maybe your shoulder is slightly higher than the other one. You start getting a lot of tension back there. Even, you know, I use the spider holster, which helped me a lot. It really helped a lot, but I have noticed that my hip flexors start getting sore.
Yeah, I used to use it. It's the same thing. It's like my hip started hurting, and I was like, why is that? I'm like, oh, because all that weight is now in a different place that I'm not used to it being. Yeah. And I sort of shift my body to adjust. And if I don't pay attention to that and like stretch and work and, you know, try to balance things out, you hurt yourself. Yeah.
And I mean, just holding the camera can cause, you know, carpal tunnel or hand issues. You want to really make sure that you're stretching out your hands and massaging your hands and your arms. And sitting at the computer, if you don't have your computer set up in a good spot, which I'm always guilty. I'm actually sitting here on my couch with my computer on my coffee table. You know, that can cause carpal tunnel because you're, you know, letting your wrists just kind of be in weird positions.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that we don't tend to think about is like the wrist and hand things, just the weight of cameras. And, you know, with mirrorless cameras, they're getting lighter or whatever. But like if you're dealing with like a big camera body and a big lens, like your 70 to 200, that's a lot of weight on your wrist and, you know, to support. I've had wrist issues for years. But like, yeah, I've worn braces and I stretch. I do exercises to strengthen it. It's gotten a lot better. But yeah, it's something that people don't think about. And then years later, again, your shoulder or your wrists and your elbow and those things, it adds up. And as you get older, it doesn't get easier.
No, I think that especially wedding and event photography is almost a young man's sport. Like I didn't really notice till I think when I hit 40 39, I was like, oh, my body hurts. And then talking to all my friends, they're all like, my body hurts. These are not easy. It's not easy anymore to just show up and shoot all day without drinking and eating and stretching.
Yeah. Without really putting in like it's a marathon. You're basically, you're running or you're working and exercising basically for like 8, 10, 12 hours. And the thing that I've noticed about that is my feet really hurt, and having to stretch and like use like I use like an acupressure ball on my feet and getting the right footwear. Especially if you're like doing a long day, it can be really painful on your feet.
Yeah, and a couple of weeks ago, I was in California shooting a 3-day conference at the convention center. And at the end of the day, when I looked at my steps, and I don't even know if it's accurate because I'm looking at my phone, which may or may not always be in the position, but it was like 22,000 steps a day.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
No wonder I'm tired.
Yeah, you're like on your feet, you're walking around, and like I remember I did a 3-day Indian wedding last year where it was the same thing. It's like it was on this grounds of this estate where they're just running back and forth constantly, and I was getting like 20 to 25,000 steps a day, going all like running around from place to place, and it's just like, man, I'm beat by the end of this.
Yeah. I mean, kind of how the Healthy Photographer started was because I was starting to have those issues and doing yoga, seeing a massage therapist, talking to a Pilates person, going to a chiropractor, and then talking to my friends, and they were like, you see a massage therapist? And I'm like, yeah, you don't? And like people started kind of feeling like those things were luxuries, and they're not. They're definitely not luxuries. I mean,
it's a necessity. You have to realize that you're also you're one of the tools in the toolbox. Your body is, part of your gear, and you have to take care of it, and you have to maintain it.
Yeah.
And event and wedding photographers are usually putting in like a long work day, like we just said, like 8, 10, 12 hours, followed by a lot of time sitting in front of a computer editing. So it's kind of a 2-part question here. The first part would be, what should photographers be doing to prepare for those like long stretches of time, like working, and what should they be doing to remain more active while they feel like while they're editing and spending all this time, in front of the computer?
Right. I mean, I think it's not, you don't have to do a ton. I think if you kind of create an exercise regimen for yourself, I mean, for me, I like to do it first thing in the morning because once I start doing other things, the day gets away and I never end up doing it. Some people like to do it in the evening, but I think, finding something that you can do for 20 or 30 minutes in the morning that's active. There's a lot of exercise programs out there at home, or if you want to go to the gym. But you want to do a combination of, cardio type stuff where you're being active, whether it's running or jumping or dancing, and kind of getting that heart rate up, and then also doing some, exercises with weight or body weights, push-ups, pull-ups, those kinds of things that just get your body moving. And then throughout the day, set timers so that you can stand up, take a little stretch, walk to the kitchen, drink a glass of water, get a snack, healthy snack. And
reasonable.
And then, take it when it's nice out, instead of eating lunch at your desk, take those 20 minutes and eat your lunch outside. Take a walk while eating your lunch if you can, or just get out of the house so you get a little breathing and fresh air, because that also helps.
Yeah, I mean, certainly getting outside, getting a little sun, a little fresh air, helps immensely. getting away from the work, even for 5 minutes, and feeling like, like, okay, yeah, just decompress a little bit before going back. And it seems like I noticed a common theme in the advice you're giving is mostly like we just need to get our bodies moving more and not sitting still.
Yeah. And I mean, it's, during wedding season, if you're doing it every weekend, it's going to be hard no matter what. You are going to be tired. It's just a matter of how tired and how quickly you can recuperate. And, think of it as like if you were going to run a marathon once a week. You're not, you're going to train all week. You want to train all week. You don't want to just sit around and then show up at the marathon and run.
The starting line be like, I've been sitting on my couch all week, but I totally got this. Don't worry. I don't even need to stretch. That's good.
Right.
That's good. We're good. Can tell no, don't worry about me. No, I'm wearing Crocs. I got this.
Right? I got flip-flops. Like, have you ever seen those people that, like, you go hiking or, like, Yosemite and people are, like, wearing flip-flops? You're like, what part of park did you, national park did you not understand?
I'm going to climb this mountain in the mud. That's, I'm guilty of that sometimes. Like, I have friends who do a lot of hiking, and they will ask me to, like, do you want to go on a hike with us? And, or not, they won't say go on a hike. They will say, do you want to go for a walk? And I should know that walk to them means hike. And I will show up in my tennis shoes, and they're like, we're going to go hiking through this like muddy, on this muddy trail, and your shoes probably going to get sucked off your foot. And I'm like, I should remember that you people mean hiking through swamps and not like walking on a sidewalk. That's a very different thing, and I just have to, accept that. But being prepared and like getting yourself ready for those long periods of time.
Yeah, and I mean, I think all of us during this like quarantine life, as I like to call it, I'm in the city. I still go out and walk to the park, and everyone seems to be pretty aware, and I haven't really had to deal with too many people getting too close, but I think all of us can go outside, walk around our house, or walk down
certainly
the block.
benefit from getting moving and getting out, like, be safely distant from other people, but getting outside. Otherwise, the other issue is your mental health. If you don't get out and do something, you're going to feel like you're just locked inside. Yeah,
and I have friends in the neighborhood, so like I wish I had taken a video of it because it's so funny. But my friend and I met at the park, and we just got on our phones with our headsets and walked together like 9 feet apart.
But it's a shared experience.
Yeah.
It's a shared experience. Like that's, you can see the other person. You are actually physically aware of them. You're not right next to them. You're not on top of each other, but it's a shared physical experience where you get to like, it gets you away from that feeling of isolation, which mental health is a whole other topic we can discuss maybe another time. That's a whole other can of worms.
That would be someone that's a therapist who could speak to that.
Well, you better start listening, better start listening, better start listening. And now for my favorite part of the show. What's that say? Useless information. This is always death.
It's time for useless information. Sophia, did you know that Taco Bell might feature a big bell on its logo, but the fast food chain did not take its name from the musical instrument? Instead, the restaurant is named after its owner, Glenn Bell, who opened the first Bell's Drive-In and Taco Tia in San Bernardino, California in 1954. His first namesake Taco Bell restaurant opened in Downey, California in 1962.
Well, don't go to Taco Bell during this time.
Don't. Don't make a run for the border.
Don't make a run for the border. That's good to know. So obviously they decided on the name, and then they were like, what could be our logo?
Well, no, I'm saying he had a whole other thing. It was Bell's Drive-In and Tacotia, before that. And then he's like, man, that doesn't have quite a good ring to it. Let's call it Taco something. How about Taco something? That rings a bell. Oh, wait, my name's Bell.
I mean, a tacotia sounds good.
Yeah, tacotia. I like the alliteration there. It's much better, and we both love a good taco, which you will not find at Taco Bell. So enough about that. Make your own tacos. No. Make your own damn tacos.
Yeah. Although I will say, in my neighborhood, there is a taco truck, and their tacos are pretty good.
I know that taco truck, and you are correct. It is very, very good. I know that neighborhood. I used to live there.
And I was, the other day on Tuesday, I was like, I really want tacos, and I could not.
Oh, yeah.
I went up there, and I was like, they're not here. Are they not? I had seen them the other day.
They're not essential.
I don't know whether they just stopped. I don't know if they stopped coming or whether I was just too early, because sometimes they come at like 7:30 or 8. And this was like 6.
That's a little early.
But, yeah. However, I will admit, in high school, that I had a friend that we used to dig through my car for change and go to Taco Bell.
Yeah, see, I was never a Taco Bell person. Never. I think I've always had sort of a snobby relationship with Taco Bell. Just like, no, not happening. Well, thank you for being with us on this episode of the Nerdy Photographer Podcast, Sophia. I hope to have you back again very soon.
Thank you for having me, Casey.
Is there anything you would like to share with our listenership? Have them come over and check out The Healthy Photographer?
Yeah, I think just go to the website, thehealthyphotographer.com. There are some videos on there with some exercises, and there are some resources for people like Pilates instructors and physical therapists, and they're all doing really cool classes online right now.
Excellent.
So,
thank you for
check those out.
Yes, definitely go check that out. We got The Healthy Photographer and The Nerdy Photographer. Thanks again, Sophia. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, take care. Thanks.
This has been another episode of the Nerdy Photographer Podcast. I'd like to thank Sofia Negron for being on to discuss The Healthy Photographer. Be sure to go over to healthyphotographer.com and check out everything she's got over there. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram at The Nerdy Photo, Twitter as well at The Nerdy Photo, and subscribe and leave a review for the Nerdy Photographer Podcast wherever you get podcasts. Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever. Leave us a review and be sure to subscribe to get the new episodes. Until next time, stay safe, stay nerdy.
Who's that coming back to town? You better start listening. Who's your heart been beating about? You better listen.